Hello everyone, today we are filming the second part of our series of video tutorials on preparing walls in applying decorative plaster. In the last episode, we plastered the walls. Today we continue to prepare. After the plaster has dried, we need to sand it or clean off the sharp edges. Prime and putty. Watching the video, primer, grunt profile trademark. Effectum, deep penetration. We prime with a roller. We use a paired roller. Dip the roller into the primer. It is better to use a bath for this. There is a special bath for rollers, but I don't have a bath today. It wasn't there, but I can do that. We apply a primer to the wall. While the roller is wet, we roll it along the wall. As soon as the roller dries up again, dip it into the primer and apply it to the wall. Prime the corners with a brush because the roller does not reach there. All the corners are internal with a brush. After the primer on the walls has dried, and we will putty. Here we have such a putty. This is the same Effectum trademark acrylic finish putty. This is a ready-made solution. It does not need to be diluted with water. You just open the bucket in this way and putty these walls. We take a small spatula, put the material on a larger spatula, with which you will directly putty. Put putty on the wall. When you plastered, you made a thick layer and leveled it, and now you apply a thin finishing layer. It will cover minor defects, scratches, make the wall smoother and less absorbent. Which is what we need for decorative plaster. For example, under silk, velvet and Caravaggio sands too. The wall should not absorb much. Gypsum putty absorbs moisture very well, but just latex and acrylic putties, they block this absorbency, making the wall smooth. Now we are making all the same movements that we did in the first series. In the first part we plastered with a spatula, and now we putty. You see how you can. In the corner, for example, the spatula does not reach, and like this we take the putty on the finger and into the inner corner. This is such a collective farm method, but it works. That is, we fill the corner completely and then we correct it with this big spatula, like this. You do not have any voids in the corners. In the same way, we have the upper parts. That is, we putty everything into a circular one, starting from one corner and then into a circular one. We return to the same corner in a circular one. We putty as a whole, all internal and external corners, walls, beams, everything that we need to cover with decorative plaster. By the way, I want to note that we did not sand this plaster mix. We cleaned off all sharp edges, unnecessary parts with a spatula, primed and putty. I don't really like the process of sanding because it is a very dusty job, and such an annoying sound is impossible to listen to. We plaster the first layer, then another thin layer of plaster, then with a trowel or a spatula we clean off any sharp edges that interfere with us, and putty after priming. In this way, in hard-to-reach places where you can do with a large spatula, you make with a large spatula. If it is impossible with a large one, then make a small one. This is how the walls are putty under thin coatings. In different cases there can be 2 or 3 of these layers of putty, depending on what you are going to apply later. For example, if you are applying silk, a thin coating, then you will do 2 or 3 coats of this acrylic or latex putty. Caravaggio, for example, is a more textured material. That is, it is so dense, grainy, and it hides some small defects, so we will putty 1 layer. Next, we will prime it and apply the decorative plaster directly in the Next series, the continuation, the next series, it will be more interesting for us and we will apply decorative plaster. Be sure to watch the video, do not miss it, so that these 2 episodes turn out for you not in vain. Thank you all, subscribe to our channel and like it.